Welcome everyone back to the podcast from my new home. My new home, not yet my dedicated space. It is still a bit echoey in there until we move everything in and get it set up accordingly. So I am sitting on the couch. And the only reason I'm sitting on the couch is because I was set up at our dining table and I was talking to my dad, and he goes, "Sounds like you're in an echo chamber." And I said, "Thank you so much." Headed to another space in the room. We are in such interesting times right now. And the main message about this episode is, how do we help ourselves have perspective? Because not only do we have the noise and the shifts and the changes that are happening in the greater world, but a lot of us are going through big, big internal battles. And these internal battles can kind of erupt within us if they're not tended to. I'll give you a couple of examples. So I have folks that they're working on their health. What is their purpose in life? How do they feel content and happy right now, given that their circumstances are good when the world is essentially on fire, the way it has been for quite some time right now, as they like to say? And when we have these internal battles, we tend to compare them, and we compare them to other people, and it's not as bad and this, that, or the other, but they're yours and they do matter. And one of the things that Spirit has shared with me for quite some time that I want to share with you today is this balance of perspective. So, one of the biggest questions I will get asked, especially in the online space, is, why do terrible things happen to people? Why do terrible things happen to some people and they don't happen to other people? And there was a time, and I've had many conversations with clients where Spirit was involved, with Spirit directly. And I'm going to share with you what they have shared with me. And one of the most important things you and I have to realize is there's very extreme situations that most of us will never experience in life. And then there's some that people do experience. They may have a wonderful life, and then they do have an extremely challenging situation, and everything in between. Okay. So, part of what we want to take a look at when things happen, and maybe we read about it in the news, or we hear about it from a neighbor, or we experience it ourselves, or with a loved one, or a loved one's friend, these moments on earth happen, and they give you and I perspective. They give you and I perspective. You and I are smart enough to know that things happen that are just really, really crappy. And I wasn't going to let this be a expletive episode, but you can read between the lines. Sometimes things happen that don't make sense. I had a dear friend recently. Her 25-year-old brother passed away in his sleep very unexpectedly. They didn't know him to be sick or anything. And he was engaged. And when she posted it online, she said, "I don't want she goes, I can't believe that any lessons will come from this." She goes, "I don't want to hear that there's lessons in this." And I agree with her, and I feel for her. And I actually don't think in life we have to always find the lessons. I think that's a lot of, spiritual purity culture. I think sometimes things are just really, really crappy. And do I, based on what I've experienced myself and what I help other people through and what I see my loved ones go through, do I think we maybe gain lessons from it? Sure. But lessons kind of have this tone of, well, I have to turn this into something good. And everyone's path and experience is completely different. And you and I have to honor that. And so for some people, yes, they're going to have the perspective, and they're going to have the lessons, and they're going to turn, the crap into gold. And that is great for them. And I think we never know until we're in a circumstance or experience if that is right for us or not. So, given all of that, whew, taking a breath, relaxing our shoulders a bit, and we're going to bring in some some good wiggly energy. So there's been a lot. I don't know what this last period of, the eclipse and Mercury retrograde and what else, everything. we've been going through these last couple of weeks has been like for you. It's brought up a ton of stuff in my neck of the woods. And at the same time, when things kind of go a little bit sideways or a little bit left, or things catch us off guard, I mean, I'll be getting emails from people and I can't even see, like, I can't read the email. I mean, the craziest things are happening. And so part of what I want to invite us all to feel into right now is how do we continue to give ourselves grace? How do we continue to bring in the flow for ourselves? Do we want to bring in high vibes? I don't think high vibes is the right word. I think we just want to bring in good, solid vibrations for ourselves. They're going to help us navigate through. So let's take a moment and do that. What we're going to do in this energy guided energy to show up and settle in our belly. And we're going to ask your light to just kind of exist right now and gently start to bring energy to that lower abdomen. It's interesting. This is a very specific point. And what I'm seeing within us is this gorgeous thin veil. It's not anything in our physical body. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Hang on a second. I haven't seen this before. It just looks like a beautiful thin veil of energy that's actually right up. Please hold, we're having. Oh, hey, we're just gonna keep riding this wave. Okay. Oh, brother, it's too funny. Okay, so bringing your light to this space, whenever we do inner light work, anytime we feel like we're having to kind of push or force it, is actually an invitation for you to lean back a bit and say, how can this be a bit lighter? How can this be a bit more of a grazing for me versus hard, fast, fix, must transform energy work? It's not always about all that. So we're going to say hello to our inner light and say, please run divine energy for me for my highest good. And if this is something that you haven't done before, you might want to take a few extra beats to let this energy run for you. And with any energy activation, you always want to follow your own internal compass. So if I say something and you're like, shoot, I'm feeling like I need to focus on my left arm, you do that, boo boo. Okay. Whew. Relaxing a bit and just allowing your body to kind of open up and receive this ooey goodness. Relaxing a bit more. And maybe you kind of notice a very subtle energy. For some of you, it may be bigger. For some of you, it might be subtle. Just a subtle energy of where's this moving throughout your body. Maybe the focus is on this sheath in your lower abdomen. Breathing in, relaxing a bit more. I want to invite you to give yourself space where the energy work that you do, it's not actually meant to go a certain way or be perfect. It's actually just there to help you inhabit more of your beautiful life. And with that, the energy begins to shift, and there could be some subtle rolling around the belly area. It could be like one big wave. It might be a bunch of little spots that are kind of curling up like ribbons. It may be just the ends of the sheath for you are kind of fluttering or moving. There's no right or wrong. Or maybe you're like, Emily, I'm not feeling any of this. Or I'm feeling my lower back. Remember, we're all different. And this experience is meant to give you exactly what it is that you need. So just keep breathing in and allowing the energy to move. And at the same time, we're allowing you to be human. Potentially human thoughts are coming into your mind. Congrats. You're normal. You're on earth. Great. You're just going to keep bringing your focus back to your energy. It's not about perfection, it's about the dance. And as I say that, the energy opens up even more. It's bringing in a very strong, the energy that's opening up within us right now. It's interesting. They're calling it a strong threshold, which means that this activation, they're not letting me call it a healing, they're calling it an activation. It's a grounded opening for movement forward. But the way we move forward is by bringing ourselves to more presence and allowing ourselves to receive. It's very interesting because I know the astrology is we're in the year of the horse. As I've shared before, it's very much about presence. Presence. Presence is how we will accomplish so much. And by accomplish, it's not necessarily in the outer world, but it's going to be in our inner world, which brings us full circle. As we gently breathe in again and kind of allow things to unwind down your back a bit. You know, it's like the back of a clock. Maybe you can kind of envision your back, the energetic back of you is a little bit like that. Are there any springs that need to be sprung? Anything that feels like it's going to get a little bit of tuning or lubrication, energetic lubrication? And just kind of allowing yourself to feel all of that. Part of what this is bringing forward, because we're operating from such an aware place now, our thoughts and our movement and our choices are so potent. Whereas before, maybe we had to do quite a bit to get things done. You know, the guides said this in a client session yesterday, but you used to have to give 100% in order to get 80% or 40%, depending on what it is, right? A relationship, a job, etc. And they're saying that's reversing, but it's a slow reversal, right? So we do work like this one today and say, oh, I bring myself to presence. And I know that my choices and my actions, because of the power of my awareness and my intention behind them, are so much more impactful without needing this great space to retrieve a lot of information and stuff, right? Okay, so breathing in, relaxing, allowing yourself to be in this receptivity right now. Breathing through your nose and just take a moment to be grateful for yourself, to be grateful for all the choices you've already made and all the ones you're going to make. I am opening up one-on-one sessions for the remainder of the month and a couple of them in April. Really excited about this. These sessions are bringing about, it's that forward movement, but from a change in perspective, a change in perspective. So if that feels something that would be comforting and exciting for you and like you're ready to really release some things, I would love to invite you to book one of those. Have the most incredible rest of your day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing all of you, including more of your light, into this world. It has been so great to connect here. If this episode resonated with you, please be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who you want to have more of these chats with. As you move throughout your day, remember, your energy is your superpower. As you pay attention to it and trust it, you can watch your entire life begin to transform.